Hello everyone and welcome to Moto Scram. So how fast is fast enough? How fast does a bike need to go before we start feeling good and decide this is the bike? Well, going by this bike right here, speed has nothing to do with it. Stick around guys and let's take a look at Moto Guzzi's V7 Stone.
Okay guys, so just to pick up very quickly on where we left things in terms of the whole speed thing. I mean, obviously speed is not the only thing when we look at bikes, but having said that, yes, this bike is not a fast bike, but it's not a slow one either. I mean, it's pretty fast for a standard bike, for an entry-level standard bike. I mean, sure, the V twin engine, it's an air-cooled engine, and it's a 744cc engine. It produces like 50 horses, which isn't much in today's world, but it has loads of torque at 3,000 RPM. So at the low end, you get a lot of pull, and that makes a big difference. Yeah, it's not a slow bike at all, and sometimes when, especially in this category of bikes, when you take a look at the spec sheet can be a little bit misleading, so it's always better to try and take the bike for a test ride and see what you think for yourself, if you're interested in this bike, don't worry too much about the spec sheet. Take it for a ride, see how it rides, how you feel about it, because ultimately that's what it's all about, and this bike in particular, it's very well behaved, and it has this thing about it where it kind of makes you appreciate the ride much more than perhaps you did before, because there's no urgency. It's very relaxed, and in that sense, you kind of enjoy it that way. So it will change the way you ride. If you are an aggressive rider, or if you like riding fast, and you like this bike and you get it, you'll end up changing your riding style to suit the bike. And like I said, it's just a super nice bike. And I guess the main thing, if I were to describe the Moto Guzzi V7, would be that it's a genuine, honest bike. It's unpretentious. It doesn't pretend to be something that it isn't. It has loads of character. Now, the other thing about this bike, which I think stands out, is the whole styling thing. It's very 70ish. But having said that, the fit and finish, the attention to detail by Moto Guzzi is just amazing. Guys, this is an entry-level retro standard bike, right? Usually in this category, bikes are usually made with cheap components, and you can feel it. You can feel it in the controls. You can feel it in the fasteners, the screws. Not in the case of the V7. It's just quality throughout. The paint job is amazing. The way all the different trims, the different paint jobs that they've got, they all look good. It's a quality product. It's still manufactured in the old Moto Guzzi plant in Italy. As opposed to other bikes where they're manufactured, mass manufactured elsewhere. The bike is comfortable. It's got a really nice frame. The handling is good handling. Obviously it can be improved. I think the rear suspension, the rear shocks aren't that great. An upgrade to that would definitely make things better. But that's very subjective, and it's something that you need to find out for yourself. But generally speaking, it handles really well. The ride is comfortable. The ergonomics are perfect. The bars aren't like swept too forward or too backwards or whatever. So you're sitting there comfortably, and you're enjoying the ride. What I don't like too much though is the fact that the way you sit on the seat and rest your feet on the pegs is a little bit of an acquired taste. I mean, you're kind of squatting on the bike. You're sitting there in a squat position. I know that Moto Guzzi in the recent versions of this bike have kind of lowered the foot pegs, but on this bike, the V7II, I scrape the pegs all the time. So I don't know, by lowering them even further, what's that going to do to the whole riding dynamics. But anyway, if you are a tall rider, if you have long legs, then it might get a little bit cramped in there. But that's about it. The bike, it's a light bike. It has a nice, good range fuel tank. I think it's something like 20 liters or something like that. So it's 5.5 gallons. It's a decent, it's a earnest bike. They've really covered all the practical aspects of the bike, and on the emotional side, the V7 oozes of character and persona. So it turns heads. It's a beautiful bike to look at. Now, it does come with ABS and traction control and Brembo disc brakes and all of that. So you are getting all the essentials there. And like I said, all the components are quality components. So that's a good thing. What else can I say about the V7? Well, guys, this is a really nice bike. This bike, I guess it would be perfect for a lot of new riders because it's the opposite of intimidating. It's inviting. It almost invites you to ride it, and it's super smooth, super easy to ride. Everything behaves the way it should. So yeah, I guess for new riders this could be a really good option, but also for seasoned riders as well. I mean, personally, when I had the V7, I'd upgraded the suspension. I turned it actually into a scrambler, and I had loads of fun on that bike. And when I sold it to a close friend of mine. Kind of kept it in the family 6-7 years ago, and he still has it, so that's a good thing.
So guys, is it all about speed? Definitely not. I mean, yes, speed is important, HP is important, but at the end of the day, it's really about how the bike makes us feel. Whatever the bike, different bikes give us that grin factor in different ways, and this applies to the V7. I mean, this thing is such a joy to ride, and personally guys, I'd rather ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. Guys, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. If you have enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, as this will help me push out more content as we move ahead. Until we meet again guys, be safe and ride as much as you can.